Hey guys, next we're going to add our doors in. To do this you'll have to open up your content browser again and drag in find your folder LT doors and drag and drop in the door frame first of all, and then your actual LT doors doorway. What we'll do is we'll just close this generic browser again, and if you still have geometry tools selected, just make sure you're clicking back into the camera mode. So first we'll hide this door out the way. Just hit this hide selected button here. We'll rotate this door into place, space bar, and just rotate it on 90 degrees. Make sure that this door lines up in your top axis there. That looks pretty nice and centered. Yeah, that looks pretty good. As you see, the pivot point is running straight down the middle of those, which is good. If we just show all again, our door comes into view. So then we'll just select it, hit spacebar again, rotate that 90, and just slide that into place here, which looks, yeah, dead on. Right, so I mean, you could have a static mesh and just duplicate them across, but obviously you wouldn't be able to go through this door when it opened. So we'll use BSP for this again. So we got our red builder brush here. Hide that. Red builder brush. So go back into the geometry tools mode. We're editing. Click in your camera, keep in your camera mode. Right click there. X will be 32. If you ever want to find your red builder brush, this is a good point. If you click on your door and just hit the cube, then the red builder brush actually goes to whatever you have selected, which is always useful. So I think the height of this will be, yeah, 256 there. Middle mouse button to measure that. So we'll hit 256 in Z. We'll move this up into place, and because we already have the 512 in Y already selected, that looks pretty tight in there. So we'll just hit Control and A to add that into there. Our door's gone missing, so next we need to add our doorway. You can, yeah. So if we just select our doorway here and just press show selected only, so that we're just working with our door frame now, which makes things a bit easier. So if we go into, we'll just close this window and make this window actually bigger so you guys can see what we're doing here. So we just maximize the window up there, and so we're working with this. So if we go into geometry tools now, and in edit mode, we can Control Alt and left mouse drag down here and bring these grid units into here. Same on the other side, Control and Alt, and just drag them into there. Control Alt, left mouse drag to the top bit. I'm just going to drop my grid size down just one, just so I can, I mean, it probably would have worked like that, but I'm in 8 grid unit mode now, and that's looking pretty good. So Control Alt, left mouse drag. Technically I could drag these in by one. It probably would have worked if not, but just so it's encompassing the door there. So if we come back out of this mode here, and that looks pretty nice in there. So if we show all here and then hit Control S, that will create a subtractive brush. So in our side view here, if you hit Alt and W to hide static meshes, move this red builder brush out of the way, you can see a yellow brush there, and that's exactly what it is, a subtractive brush. The blue brush is additive and the yellow is subtractive. So if we actually select this door here and hide it, then you see a space to the outside. So we have got our doorway. Obviously the door doesn't move yet, but we've got it in place. So to select a brush, you can either select them up here, so we select the subtractive brush there, or in this viewport, if you just click on a brush, it just selects the surface. So with this this subtractive brush selected, if you hold Control and Shift and then the left mouse click, it selects your additive brush in the viewport. You could have selected it here, but it might have started selecting the roof or anything, so at least we know what we have selected. And then if we select the door as well, and then if we zoom into here and just pick up that door there, if we had tried to select the door then it would have selected the subtracted brush instead. So with all our components selected, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 components selected. We'll go over to this doorway here so we can see where we're at, and then zoom out of the top down view and just hold Alt and just drag everything over there. And we'll just get this into place here. I think that looks pretty good. Everything's lined up to the walls and the height should be pretty much perfect. So if we select off these, obviously we can't see our brushes because we haven't built the geometry, so click up here to build geometry, and there we go. If we hide this door, we can see it. So we have 2 doors. What I'd like to do now is add something for the roof to just make things a bit more atmospheric. It's not necessarily, you don't have to add it, but it looks pretty nice, I think. So if we open our generic browser again, and I'm not actually sure, I think it's in HU Deck, which we can find, yeah, HU Deck, we got a nice window here. So if we just drag and drop that into here, close our generic browser again, we need to center it up to the middle, and then we also need to rotate on a 90-degree axis, pressing spacebar again. So we'll get this into place there. That looks pretty good there. Hit your red builder brush, and that'll center in on this here. If you right click on it as well, in Z we want 32 because we have a roof thickness of 32, if you check there. So line that up with the roof. For your window, if middle mouse drag, you got 256. So change, I think it's 512 to 256. No, that'll be X256, sorry. And then half of that will be 128. And if you see on the top down menu, that'll have aligned it pretty nicely there. So we're in line with everything. If we just press Control S now, we create a hole. So that's a subtracted brush going in there. Alternatively, you could have pressed CSG subtract. It's a bit too in line with the roof there, so I'll just knock it up a tiny bit just so it's a little bit indented, but that looks pretty good, and as we can see the moonlight coming through there. So we can move this red build brush out of the way, whatever viewport you want. We still don't have static meshes in this window, so if we just hit Alt and W in there, it shows our static meshes. So if we select this, the yellow subtracted brush, hold down Control and select the mesh as well. We've got everything selected here. If we just close this and move this out of the way, we'll maximize this window here, and so we can kind of get good space in between all of our things. So it's up to you where you put them. I'm not going to be too exact, but just press spacebar to rotate. I'm not going to be too exact, but just wherever you want them really. Holding Alt, you can just drag and duplicate and rotate. Yeah, and that should pretty much do it. Let's put one more in. There. So if we go out of this maximize window, obviously we can't see anything yet. Just build geometry quickly, and then we should have, yep, we have all the roof lights in there, which makes it look a little bit nicer. What we can do in the scene is if you just go into your generic browser again, you can find loads of different types of objects in here. I mean, we could add pipes, just drag them in there, maybe rotate them 90, just shut this window a second, maybe scale them up to 2 or 3, get them in line with this wall, maybe up a bit, and then just Alt drag them across there, maybe selecting 2 as you go so it speeds up the process. So I mean, you could add pipes like that. Do what you like. There's a few crates in there as well. and just lots of different objects. So have a play around, just start building out your level, exactly what we've been doing, and just drag and drop them in there and kind of block out your level. We'll hold it there for now, and then we'll start working in Kismet to create some door sequences and shooting out some lights.